Good morning, Zionsville. Live from CNN headquarters, we have a breaking news story. The Han Dynasty is now on a decline since its height during the rule of Emperor Wu Di. After the brief crisis from the rebel Wang Mang, the Han Dynasty is becoming more weakened due to the increase of weak leaders. Also, the Han Dynasty is falling apart because of the giant gap between the rich and the poor caused by the rise of taxes to cover the costs for running their vast empire. Crushed by the high taxes and huge amounts of debts, more and more peasants have lost their land. With not as many landowners, the Han government had decided to raise the price of their taxes even more, making the situation even worse. These catastrophes within their dynasty are causing more citizens wanting to revolt from the Han dynasty and waiting for a new dynasty to arrive.
I'm Mason Horner, and I'm in China 500 CE, where cultural diffusion is at its peak. Over the few days I've been here, I've seen several things, including Buddhism and architecture. Hey, I'm Mason, and I'm in China 500 CE, where the cultural diffusion is at its peak. Over the few days I've been here, I've seen several things, including Buddhism and architecture. I've also heard that over in India, a very heavily Chinese, American cultured restaurant is rising called P.F. Chang's. P.F. Chang's.
Well, India consists of small kingdoms. One of these kingdoms has a great ruler who soon conquered other kingdoms around him. His name is Chandragupta Maurya, then became the founder of the Mauryan Empire, the first empire of India. Chandragupta has a strong central government that is used to terminate people who think against him. Now that he is dead, Ashoka has taken over the rule of the Mauryan Empire and is seeming to reach its height. But just recently, Ashoka fell, and the Mauryan Empire is crumbling nothing but dust. This is established the early India.
As you see, I'm here at India's biggest polo arena. Polo is perhaps one of the most ancient games. When history was a legend, we found polo flourishing. 1200 years ago, the Persians were playing it, and the Chinese maintained that their ancient played it in thousands of years ago. Polo can be called an indigenous game of this country as it has been played in India for centuries and has produced some of the finest players in the world, whose names have become a household road to all sports clubs. Originally, polo was played in Gilgit, Chiral, and Manipur of India. The game flourished during the Mahayan period and was a popular sport with the emperors who called it Shahjahan. Emperor Akbar, who made it popular in Agra, which was the capital then, was the first of Mughals to introduce certain rules and regulations for this game.
Now that we are shifting into the Gupta Empire, Buddhism is starting to go away. Now Hinduism is the main religion. Buddhism has faded away and the Gupta Empire would prefer all of us to follow Hinduism. Therefore, the main religion under the Gupta will now be Hinduism. Reports show that temples are being built right now for the practice of Hinduism.
Hi, I'm Mason Horner, and I'm reporting live from northeastern China, and that's the Huanghe River behind me, or more popularly known as the Yellow River. Recognized for its extremely fertile yellow silt on its low banks. The Yellow River was the origin point of the great and powerful ancient China, blessing the Chinese people with one of the only sources of fertile soil in this great region. This has given them great power. But a problem that occurs every year is coming about. All of the houses being built on the low banks of the Huanghe are being washed away after every large flood. So recently, houses are beginning to be built on stilts to avoid being swept away, because quite frankly, having over 10 condemned homes on your record doesn't do your insurance rates any justice. Back to you, Phil.
The first empire, Ling Bang, Emperor Gaozu, initiated many effective measures by recruiting people for his government based on their ability, not birth or wealth, and drawing lessons from the collapse of Qin and former dynasties. The economy recovered very quickly with able people in the government and with politics based on Li Bang's reforms. The arts were encouraged by Gaozu and flourished. After Gao's death, his son Li Yun succeeded to the throne, although power was held by his mother, Queen Li Huzi. After 16 years of reign by Li Huzi, Li Heng Empire Wen and Li Hu Empire Hing became the emperors in succession.
Thanks, Tim. Now for the economy update. India's economy is flourishing during the time of the Gupta Empire. The newly found reason behind this is because of trade. With the inland trade routes such as the Silk Road and the ocean trade routes in India is trading with many different places and has a very strong economy. Shops are overflowing with people using wealth from this trade. India, as of this time, has a very strong economic structure. Well, this concludes our 7 o'clock news report here at ZNN headquarters. Be sure to join us at 11 tonight to hear the latest report on the controversial cereal brand, Ebola Flix.